talked a lot about opt-outs in that last little chunk right there. Penn State is another team that had a lot of opt-outs, and boy did it show, especially on defense. And of course, would you expect anything different from James Franklin than to blame the loss on that?
Dude.
Because that's exactly what he did.
Like, and like I get like the same thing I said to Florida State. I get why you guys lost. You didn't have half your team. Penn State had a lot of like I knew Alu wasn't gonna play. I knew Kalen King wasn't gonna play, but I'm pretty sure we had a few late drops of Johnny Dixon or whatever. But
Yeah,
regardless of
Chop.
that, yeah, and Chop. But regardless of that, you James Franklin had a month for this game to prepare for this game. I know you got new coordinators. I know all that, but you have a month and you're always in all your different press conferences throughout the whole season and before the season starts, your next man mentality up. That is what you praise. Like there's no like seniority. No, if you're a dog, you're gonna get your opportunity. And when you're like and you praise you tell these kids, you instill in these kids when you get this opportunity, you better make it up because this is your shot. And this was exactly what he praises. This was his mantra, and none of them showed up. Not gonna blame the players though because I the whole game it just everything was so goddamn predictable on offense especially. And like the defense, they just kept getting rolled over. Because Ole Miss, man, they were yeah, I'm gonna give it to them. They were balling, but on offense for us, it was like this run pass, this like it's not going to work. And I like Drew Allard didn't play good. Don't get me wrong, but our wide receivers are trash. And there's people in the portal have already started. These top guys have already started transferring to other schools. He's not making an aggressive there. Like we need someone that can catch a goddamn ball, run a
Yeah,
goddamn
dude.
route, and get open for Drew Allard. It can't just be our tight ends. Like on offense, I felt like Tyler Warren was the only guy who wanted to win that football game. He was the only guy that showed passion to me that wanted to actually win that football game. And it was just, and
Yeah,
yeah,
he
what you
always
said about
brings it.
Franklin, so infuriating. So infuriating. You got your ass kicked and you like barely mentioned it. And then you just immediately went on excuses on excuses on excuses. Like, just own up to it. Like, I just want
Dude.
one time, just own up to it. Be like, yeah, we got our ass kicked. I did a poor job planning for this game. Everything aside, but he will never do that because
He would never.
he would never do that.
Dude is
Never.
the biggest. Dude is the biggest like deflector that I have ever crossed paths with, and save the excuses for behind the scenes and like take the L like a man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, like I have the quote is I'll read the actual quote. Just too many moving parts with the staff and the players against a good team. Too many moving parts and staff with the staff and the players to have the type of success we wanted today. I mean, that's just like coach speak 101, which true, you do have a
Yeah.
little bit of a case, but this was also a guy who was talking everything up before the game and minimizing the opt outs and saying, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." And like you said, next man up mentality, or we have the guys in the building that we need, or we're gonna prepare.
And
It's just the same thing over and over and over again.
he was also saying that he has done a good job or like I don't know it's exact whatever Coach Franklin speech that he normally does. But he was saying we have a good system in place that like our players feel comfortable. And to give him credit, in all the bowl games, big bowl games at least that we played, all the big players have played. And I do give him credit for because a lot of colleges aren't like that. I mean, you look at Georgia and FSU, all these other teams this year, but even in years prior, half the team almost always it seems like if they're not in the playoff, they're not playing. Penn State, to its credit, like we have great turnouts. And this was one of the first years where there wasn't a great turnout, and he just didn't had no idea what to do. And all that depth that he praised all season long about his defense, about how like they're the deepest they've ever been. No, you aren't, because um, look what happened. I think who's it? Number 5. What's his name? Was it Cameron Brown? I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. It's something Brown. I think it's Cameron Brown, our cornerback on
Oh,
defense.
Five's Kalen, isn't it?
No, 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 no. Hold up. Let me get it
It was
because
Tariq Castro Fields. Oh,
because
it
I
was Tariq
yeah,
Castro Fields, and then yeah, who is it now? Oh yeah, I don't know.
Cameron Miller, Cam Miller,
Okay, Cam Miller. Yeah, yeah,
Cam Miller. My bad, Cameron Brown. I don't know why I got Brown on my mind, but they like that poor guy. He got targeted, bro. Like it just seemed like Jackson Dart was just be like whoever has Miller, I'm throwing it to him, and they're gonna catch the ball. And like cut the miss, bro. They got playmakers. Like
yeah.
they got and Jackson Dart. As much as I hated seeing that Anakin Skywalker like side by side, that made me cringe. But I was like, dude, that guy sliced up our defense. And
Yeah.
their tight end, what kind of mini Gronk did we just play against there, man? Was it Caden Prince-Gorn? I never like
Oh my
all
god.
due respect, dude, but that dude went through us. And then who was this guy that ruined? Yeah, Trey Harris. Yeah, he ruined my day. He torched us as well. But yeah, Cam Miller, especially like those, we really missed our corners. I think that was like the biggest issue, honestly. But goddamn, we need to start. Franklin, you need to start looking at those guys, man, because that was bad. That was really bad. It just looked like you never played football before. But anyways, hey, neither have I. But that was bad. But all on Franklin, though. I
Yeah.
ain't blaming these players. I give a lot of credit, especially for Abdul Carter suiting up and even trying to get back in the game. After that, the Ole Miss dude deliberately fell on that dude's leg. That's some bull
Oh
crap.
yeah. Yeah.
But give
I
him
agree.
credit. And then, like I said before, Drew just didn't look good. I mean, obviously the scheme wasn't set up really nice for him. I hope we could figure that out with our new guy from Kansas. But it was just all around bad, miserable. Sitting at the
Yeah,
sports
man.
bar by myself, just miserable.
I mean, the first catch by a wide receiver did not occur until the fourth quarter, and it was
Unacceptable.
Liam Clifford.
Yeah, I remember that too because I was like, God damn, when you have Liam Clifford, Sean's younger brother, catching our first wide receiver pass, it's brutal.
Which like all do like he could be like a nice like number three maybe like, but like dude
No,
like
no,
you're there you don't even like no you're like no.
no, no. I like we
There's
just need a.
no like explosion.
I
There's
just
just
don't.
none.
I honestly don't want to see a single wide receiver back. I don't want to see a single one. I know we're probably going to keep Liam because of how we treated Sean. And like, I don't get like if you're the younger brother of Sean Clifford, I don't get how you're going to transfer out of Penn State. Like, it's just
Yeah,
But KLS, like as much as I like him, he's a wide receiver two at best.
dude broke the
He's not
streak
no number
of
one, but I'd be
he
okay if
broke
he
the streak.
whatever. And then the rest of them don't even care. I think most of them are transfer grads anyway, so they're leaving regardless. But I need a massive U-Haul, and I don't want Franklin getting these guys, although he's probably the main one. I just want transfer portal guys, man. I think that's what we need. Experienced guys. We can't just keep building up these guys from high school, especially when you
Yeah,
got a 5-star quarterback in Drew Allar who like needs to make a jump, or else like
yeah,
we're in big trouble as a program and Drew himself.
yeah. Big time. There was no number one threat this year, and I thought you thought after West Virginia, I was like, okay, LS, like he's gonna be
Dude,
the guy. He's gonna continue the streak. We're gonna have a number one wideout.
our first I wish I could go back to that man who watched that West Virginia game. The first like play, deep ball touchdown. I was like, "Oh my god, Penn State's back." And I said out loud, "I wish this Toby could go back to that 2023 Toby and just smack him in the face and be like, "Come on, dude. Be real. Be real." But also bet Penn State to cover all the way up until Ohio State because
Yeah,
you'll make a
Ohio
lot of money
State.
because they cover a lot
keep
this year.
just
Toby.
keep rolling.
That's what I would tell myself.
Facts. They were good for that for a little bit. Um, so I'll give him that. But yeah, Franklin, he's just about out in my book, and he could have gained a little bit of more brownie points if he became, Penn State would have become the first school ever to win all
Oh
6 New
yeah,
Year's Six bowls. That would have been pretty awesome. Like, I wouldn't have
good way
even
to end the
like
season.
can't hate on that. Yeah, like that's awesome. And of course, I mean, there's just nothing. Like nothing. It was the same shit, different game.
Yeah, it's the same product that we were all used to. And like I was at the bar too, on the cruise ship, and they were like Penn State, kind of like fans there or whatever. But they were like, oh my God, like they just look bad. And I was like, is this your first time watching? I'm like, I'm seeing the same story over and over again. It's like that's why I'm more depressed because it's the same product and it just doesn't change. So I'm just hoping new fresh start, but I think I'm getting there with Franklin. I mean I'll give him one more year because he's got new coordinator, but I need to see it. I need to see moves in this offseason though. I don't want to just see this same old team, which there will be, but that was just bad. Bad way to end the year, really.
hmm Yeah, you could have gone out on a decent note and rode some momentum into next year, but you lose to Ole Miss. That was a winnable game too. It's not like it was Ohio State, Michigan. Like it was a winnable game. It was as winnable as like it's winnable. I don't even know.
I
They don't play many like mediocre teams. Like they play a lot of like bad teams, and then Ohio State, Michigan. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you got to start sprinkling in like some freaking like I don't know. I guess West Virginia was kind of a mediocre team, but anyways,
I
yeah,
well, I kind of draw the same comparison of Ole Miss and Penn State. Like they were kind of in the same shoes. I mean, Ole Miss obviously I'm talking about their resurgence with Lane Kiffin, but they're like
yeah,
a very talented team. They usually have a pretty I mean, they don't have like great defenses like Penn State, but we are also blessed with Manny Diaz, but still great defense as far as and they're in the SEC, and their offense is still capable. They just have the displeasure of playing against Alabama and Georgia, where it's the same thing with Penn State. Like Penn State, like you're always talking about Penn State, but they can never win those big games against the big brothers. So I think this was kind of like a middle brother game in a way, or like younger brother, whatever you want to call it. And Ole Miss, like they took things personally, bro. Like I don't know if you saw that assistant coach made like a Twitter account, like a troll
yeah.
Twitter account for Penn State, which is super childish, but whatever. But they heard everything about how good Penn State's defense was. They didn't care who was going to suit up, whether it was 100% Penn State or 75% Penn State. They were ready for this game and they proved it. They dominated us every facet. Um, what I hated the most though is that their goddamn sidelines, they're dunking on Penn State hoops and they're blowing up these fire extinguishers
Yeah.
they're celebrating with. I'm like, how are you as a player on the sidelines not feeling disrespected by that and not like, what the hell? Like, I need to go out there and beat their ass. I can't be seeing all this celebration. I just like, I was like, I am perplexed that they are celebrating this hard. There's so much time in the game, and you just can't answer that with your play. I was
hmm
like, that just made me upset. I was like, I thought we
They
had
had
some
time
dog.
too.
I thought we had some dog in that team, because that would have felt
I
so good to just be like, oh yeah, go dunk on your mini hoop. We'll eat these peaches, But no, we got dunked on and they ate our peaches, bro. Like it was bad. It was tough.
yeah, man. Look, Sean Clifford, dog. Drew Alar, I don't know,
I
man.
mean, I mean, I mean,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, if you're talking about now, yeah, you're right. But you gotta think
I don't
about
know.
how, yeah, I don't know. I don't
There's
have any
time.
argument, honestly, for that right now. I don't
There's
have any
time.
argument for you right now.
But hey, Sean also had Jahan Dotson, who, dude, we watched that game. I stopped watching the game like 5 minutes in the third quarter, or whenever. I was just like, I knew where it was going, and I knew they were gonna just give that little like at the end, like that little push at the
Yeah,
end
obviously.
to like
Trying to
make the score
cover.
a little closer. Yeah, or yeah, trying to cover just to make it look not as bad as it was. Um, I went to the bathroom. I, I watched. I turned on a Jahan Dotson Penn State highlights and just
Can't hate
watched.
you.
It was like an 8 minute video. I just watched the whole thing, and I
Can't
felt
hate you for
better.
that.
I felt better after that.
Can't hate you for that. But like
But
I would even
they need a guy like that, man. They're just even half of Dotson.
Yeah, dude.
for Drew.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But Drew does need some help though. Like he didn't play well, but when Tyler
Yeah,
Warren is your leading receiver, no disrespect to Tyler Warren, I mean he was a dog. Like I said,
he's a dog. Yeah,
seemed like the only guy to me that wanted to win that football game on the offensive end. But that just can't happen. Like, like you're a wide receiver for a reason. A receiver, you receive, you catch the
catch the
ball,
ball.
and none of them on the roster were doing that. And it's not even the
Unreal.
problem with them catching a ball; it's them getting open. They just can't
Getting
get
open.
open. They just can't. So
Getting a
I
window.
want to blame Drew. Like I want to be like whatever, but like
Yeah.
every time on the sideline, you could see him talking. He's like, I tried. They're not like they're covered. Like there's only so much I can do. Like there's only so many tight balls I can throw. Unless I'm gonna be throwing a pick. And he's probably like, well, you praise about protecting the football, so I don't want to throw none of those 50-50 balls.
And he did throw a pick.
He did throw a pick.
But yeah, that was that was kind of his fault. But yeah, he definitely needs more help. I'm not out on him yet. But I was right last year. I was like, why are we crowning this kid? Like he hasn't really done anything yet. And
He crowning him because he's what the first five-star quarterback Franklin brought in. He's had a lot of hype, and like he can sling the ball. We proved that.
we've seen that.
We've seen
That's
that.
how desperate. That's how desperate us Penn State fans are, just for something
Yeah.
more,
Just something more.
something more, just once, just a hit, just to get me by.
But back to Sean Clifford. He looked way sexier with the rose in his mouth than JJ McCarthy did. Like I kept seeing those Rose Bowl picks, and I'm like, Penn State looked way fucking cooler.
Yeah,
way cooler.
I love that. That day, I had a chance to go there, but I went to the Super Bowl instead. But I mean, I don't know. Now you think, man, maybe because that was an awesome win.
I mean,
yeah,
hindsight 2020. Nah, you definitely go to the Super Bowl, but
yeah.
it like again, yeah, I know what you're saying though. Would have been sweet for that, but when you're
I
an
felt
NFL
that,
team,
yeah.
NFL teams in there, you have a chance to be in the stadium when your NFL team wins it.
I know, and that was before I even knew. Before I even knew that Eagles were going to make it. But yeah, still just a great way to go out, and hopefully Drew gets that moment for him. And hey, 12 team, 18 next year.
Yes.
I don't even know. I keep forgetting.
I think it's 12. And thank God.
But that's
because
the other thing. Yeah. Or go
yeah,
ahead.
I think this year especially, dude. Like there would have been, instead of 2 great college football playoff games, we probably would have had like 8 to 10 of them if we're counting all of them. Like there was some. I'm not saying they would win it all, but like I said, like Georgia, I would have loved to see how Georgia would have fared if they would have been in it. Even Ole Miss, the way they played, how they would have fared. Like Bo Nix, I mean, it's not like Oregon would have won it all, but Bo Nix, nobody wants to go against him. I don't know. It would have been interesting. I mean, Liberty obviously would have gotten torched no matter what. I don't even know why. I don't even know why they were so up so high. But it just would have been this year. I mean, I'm excited for it next year because I just know it's going to be even more competitive. So, especially with Texas, Oklahoma moving, and obviously the Big Ten movers that are coming in. So it's going to be good. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Finally, more than 4.
Definitely better things ahead, but we've had our good moments with 4. There've been some great moments. Not Penn State, obviously, but just in general. The 4 team, as much shit as it's gotten, it has had its moments. One last thing I'll say about Penn State, though. I'm worried about next year that it does move to the 12. Franklin's just going to, obviously nothing will change. And then they'll go, 10-3, 10-2, whatever, make the playoffs. And then he'll get off the hook for all the same shit because they'll make the playoffs.
Will we, though?
Nah, that's the thing. I don't know.
Like, we have a tougher schedule than ever. Like, we don't just play. We don't play, community colleges in September no more. We have like a 5-game stretch. I mean, thank God we don't have to see Michigan, although we'll see what happens with Harbaugh. Michigan might be coming back down to earth, but if he stays, Michigan's top dog. Um, Ohio State, Ryan Day's probably gone, but it's still Ohio State. It's still that brand. But we got like a gauntlet of, well, we got to play Washington, UCLA,
Who'd be the champ? Yeah.
USC, Oregon, and Ohio State in like a 5-game stretch. Like 10-2 might be ambitious. 9-3 might be ambitious with just how Franklin is. Again, I'm not discarding the talent. Like I think the talent still be there, but losing Manny Diaz is huge.
Yeah.
Because that dude's a wizard. The fact that he wasn't a head coach was crazy. But we don't have him, so the defense you got to expect to take a dip. That's when it's really on the offense. Like it really is on this offense and really untapping, fully unreeling Drew Allar. That's why I think like this, it's huge. That's why I think the transfer portal this year is huge. Like we need to ball out on it. And like obviously recruits James Franklin. I'm not really worried because Franklin's a great recruiter. I'll never discredit Franklin and how he's able to recruit kids. Like he's pretty consistent with that. But so homegrown talent ain't gonna help you next year or this small window that you still have with Drew Allar. It's just you need the start.
Mm-hmm.
It starts next year. So
Yeah, man.
we'll see. I only got confidence because of my alma mater, man. I only got confidence because of that. But if I was like
Same.
not a Penn State fan, I would be like, nope. I think Penn State's.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right with you. I always joke. I'm like, man, why couldn't I went to like Ohio State or something? I should have applied to Ohio State.
I
Michigan,
couldn't do
not
that to
actually,
myself
but I
though.
couldn't. Nah.
Not when there's pictures
But
of me, like when I'm 4 years old at Penn State games. Can't do that.
yeah, you just gotta fingers crossed and hold your breath and hope you don't pass out.
Yeah, seriously.